Welcome to the top 10 sports moments of 2016 on Midco Sports Network. The year, of course, provided thousands of great memories, courtesy of our high school and college teams in the Dakotas and Minnesota. But we have boiled it down to 10, based on voting by our 35-person staff here at Midco Sports Network. And you will hear their opinions and their biases on why they voted the way they did. The criteria for consideration in the countdown was pretty simple. Anything that made a mental mark and became a moment. So here we go. Number 10 on our list is more of a movement than a moment. An impressive array of new places to play at SDSU, NDSU, and USD. Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium in Brookings, the Shields Center in Fargo, and the Sanford Coyote Sports Center in Vermilion all had grand openings in 2016.
You can't walk into the basketball arena and not feel like you're at USD because there's so much red in that place.
When the stadium opened, it just looked different. I mean, people sort of had a vision of what Coughlin Alumni Stadium looked like. And then when you see Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, just how different it looks, felt like, okay, SDSU's transition to Division I is complete.
And now to have facilities to match that level that they're at is just a really special thing.
They did it the right way. They utilized all the right space and took advantage of the opportunity they had to really bring this thing up to the next level.
Well, we go to the mat and lay it on the line in our number 9 top moment of 2016. It's a Cornhusker commitment. There have been, of course, local high school football players who have gone on to play big-time college football, but our staff thought that this signing was special. Matt Farniok provides a big boost to the Big Red recruiting class at Nebraska.
And just kind of after thinking of it a long time, it just kind of, Nebraska ended up being my choice.
This one, you could feel the tension, the excitement, the suspense.
Some programs, you could even say, were kind of hinging the success of their recruiting class on whether or not they got Farniok. He started getting recruiting very early in his high school career.
We've never seen a guy with 17 FBS offers. 17. Schools like Stanford, Oklahoma, Florida State, Michigan State, Iowa. I mean, the best of the best. This guy was the prize.
2 down in our top 10 of 2016. 2 more memorable moments coming up next, and 2 of the most heart-touching moments from the past season.
The 2016 top moments and top plays on Midco Sports Network are presented by Easy Spotter Attachments.
Welcome back. More top 10 moments coming up. But first, a little pause to pay tribute to 2 of the greatest feel-good moments that we witnessed this past season. One is an unforgettable run by a young man from Mitchell High School in South Dakota. Taylor Reichelt was born with Down syndrome, but he was voted homecoming king and he played on the Colonel football team. With the cooperation of the kids and the coaches from Sturgis High School, Reichelt takes it in for a touchdown with the entire stadium cheering him on. And if that was not inspirational enough, how about this moment at the University of South Dakota? Before a USD football game against Weber State, Coyote Nation comes together to support Sarah Hill. She is the wife of the head coach of the opposing team, and she is fighting cancer. The Coyotes for Sarah campaign raises thousands of dollars for the Hills and millions of good vibes in Coyote country. Back to our countdown, and at number 8, the continuation of the longest win streak in North Dakota girls basketball since the sport was sanctioned by the state in 1951.
Keeping this winning streak alive, talk about how the girls, how you guys handled that.
Well, I'll tell you, we never talked about it.
We came first day of practice, and what we told them is, okay, the streak is still alive. That's the last you're going to hear me say it.
Well, they don't want to talk about it, but we will. Fargo Shanley has won the last 3 Class A state championships, and the Deacons started this season with 70 straight victories.
High school girls basketball maybe doesn't get quite the same acknowledgement, and interestingly enough, they replaced a record that had just been set a couple years before by Bishop Ryan, who won 63 in a row, and their streak was ended by Fargo Shanley in the midst of their 70-game winning streak. And the way they did it, it was dominant.
It's so hard to go undefeated, let alone do it 2 years in a row and win state championships, and even beyond 2 years. So it just, what an amazing group of athletes. What an amazing job Coach Jacobson did at Shanley. And it's something that no one's ever going to be able to take away from those girls or that school. That's theirs forever.
You know, Shanley is one of the smaller Class A schools that found a way to get this core together and play, and a lot of those kids went on to play at the collegiate level, and for them to win 70 straight games over that span, hard-pressed to find that again.
From a streak that still hasn't ended to one that finally did, our number 7 top moment, South Dakota State beats North Dakota State in football to claim the Dakota Marker Trophy for the first time since 2009.
Was there a sigh of relief as you guys left the field?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's like my 4th time playing them already, and we've lost the rest, so it was nice to finally beat them.
I don't think anyone will outwardly say, I hate NDSU or I hate the Bison, but you can sort of tell in the way they're parsing their answers and in the way that they're talking that this is their biggest rival.
You know, I was a little bit surprised they came into Fargo and were able to do that, but at the same time, I think South Dakota State has had almost a decade of pent-up aggression that they were just ready to get this monkey off their back.
The way they won the marker on a touchdown pass from Taryn Crispin to Jake Winicky with 1 second left on the clock, it's not enough just to beat NDSU in the Fargo Dome, but to do it in that fashion, I think, was really inspiring for Jackrabbit fans.
We got it back! We got it back!
With the game on the line, it was their money man that made the play in Jake Winicky with 1 second left, and the elation that you saw on the field was indicative of just how important that game was for South Dakota State. It's been a long time, and when you lose 8 straight games to your rival in North Dakota, after a while you start getting a little bit cranky.
They want to beat these guys, and for one Saturday in October, they proved they could do it.
Well, top moments number 6, 5, and 4 are coming up next, as well as 3 of the plays of the year that were close but did not crack our top 10. Welcome back. We still have the top 6 moments of 2016 and the top 10 plays of the year still to come. And here are 3 plays quite outstanding on their own that just didn't quite make the top 10. UND freshman Noah Wanzik with a spectacular grab for his first college touchdown as the Fighting Hawks beat Cal Poly. This might be number 1 on the list of most controversial moments of the year. Taylor Varsho makes a 3 with 1 second left to put the University of Sioux Falls ahead of Winona State. But the Cougars get called for a technical foul when the fans rush on the floor. Winona goes on to win the game in overtime. And the awesome Aussie from the University of South Dakota, Nicole Seekamp with the steal, the spin, and the score. Back to the top moments of 2016. At number 6, a magnificent March run that put the women's basketball team from South Dakota State oh so close to the National Sweet 16. The Jackrabbits with a 3-point first-round win over Miami, but then a gut-wrenching 1-point loss to Stanford in the second round.
From a personal standpoint, I think SDSU getting to the NCAA tournament, winning an actual tournament game for the first time in 7 years, I think that does more to elevate a program simply because more eyes are watching.
Number 1, they performed well on that day to win the Summit League Championship. They earned the right to go to the NCAA tournament. I'm not taking that away from them at all. And then to beat Miami, I mean, that's no easy task, and I watched the game, and just to watch them make Miami do what they didn't want to do and to beat them in that way and then be 1 point away from going to the Sweet 16. I mean, these are huge strides for mid-major programs and just huge things for the state of South Dakota for women's basketball.
Yeah, you might do this list somewhere else in the nation and they'd say you're crazy for putting a women's basketball team in a top 10 moment show, but we've got a couple of them because the fervor around here for women's basketball is higher than anywhere else I've been.
At number 5 in our top 10 moments of 2016, a standout athlete at Bismarck Century High School, and then a national championship quarterback at North Dakota State, and then the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft, and then Carson Wentz makes his rookie debut as the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He is not number 5. This to me is number 1, and it's not close.
Since you're a little kid, I want to be a professional athlete. That's a lot of kids' goals, and teachers look at them like they're crazy. But I've been working my tail off to try and make that a reality, and I'm getting close to that time to really pursue that.
And I think that's kind of surprising when they see a Carson Wentz or a David Johnson, or kind of even going back to Joe Flacco, the talent that comes out of FCS programs. It is surprising.
5. This to me is number 1, and it's not close. To have a North Dakota kid that comes from Bismarck Century High School and go to North Dakota State and rise up the draft charts from being a 5th round pick to a 3rd round pick to a 2nd round pick, and to go all the way to the number 2 pick in the overall draft to the Philadelphia Eagles is, to me, one of the most significant moments in North Dakota sports history. And even now, when I watch him play, I still can't believe what I'm seeing on TV, that this guy is a starting quarterback in the NFL and playing at a pretty high level.
Team achievements take over the top 4 spots in our top 10 moments. And at number 4, University of South Dakota women's basketball. The Summit League regular season champs get knocked out of the Summit League tournament, but rebound and reel off 6 straight wins to capture the WNIT championship.
That was the argument. You go to the NCAA tournament, what's better, going there and maybe winning a game, maybe losing a game, or going to the WNIT tournament, making a run and extending your college career, and it was a lot of fun watching those girls play.
I don't think there's a right answer necessarily either direction. To me, it's more impressive when you can string 6 wins together at the Division I level in the postseason of any tournament and end up taking home a trophy.
The WNIT is a national title, and to perform in those 6 games where it's like you lose and you're done, and that's the end of your season, and for the 5 seniors, that's the end of your career. And then to go on and actually beat these teams, beat Minnesota on the road, beat Oregon, beat these big teams that everyone talks about in these Power 5 conferences, and then to win a national title, I think that ranks higher.
For them to overcome the disappointment of losing in the Summit League championship game to South Dakota State, and then to proceed and reel off 6 straight wins and lift the title in the final basketball game at the Dakota Dome, it was an incredible run.
So to have the last basketball game played at the Dakota Dome and have it packed, literally every seat accounted for, people waiting, trying to get tickets, was awesome. It was very awesome to see.
They deserve to go out as champions, and in a way they did.
The top 3 moments still to come, and so are the top 10 plays, and a few more that were just outside the cut line. Coming up on our top sports moments of 2016. Welcome back. Down to the top 3 moments of 2016. And the top 10 plays of the year still to come as well. And consider these plays honorably mentioned, but just outside of our top 10 in the voting. Tyler Flack at USD, always good for a highlight reel dunk or 2, rising up, spanking it home on the alley-oop. And Samantha Roscoe at the University of North Dakota. From 50 feet, boom. Back to the top moments countdown, and 3 national championship teams in the top 3 spots. At number 3, what would prove to be one of the greatest men's basketball teams in NCAA Division II history. Augustana University overcomes an injury to their all-time leading scorer and goes on to win the D2 national title.
I think we knew coming in here we had a very good chance to do something special, and to actually do it is amazing. It's a great way to go out. Obviously, it's tough that we're leaving the program, but I feel like our 4 years were pretty great, and this put a little stamp on it.
But to have a national championship in a major sport, in men's basketball, Division II, you get all the exposure from networks like us and from CBS. That has to be a top moment, not just in 2016, but of all time for Augustana. And the way they did it, overcoming adversity with their best player out in the Elite 8, and then coming back and winning the Final 4 in the national championship game, nothing could have been better for the Vikings.
They for sure could have played on the same court as a Summit League team and been respectable. Now, national title, it's a whole different level, but Dan Jansen can play on any team in the country. Coach Krzyzewski said that when they played them the following year, that this team and these players could play on any college basketball court in the nation.
That's the best their season could have gone, and they went out and did it.
Another national champion is number 2 in our top 10 moments. January 9th, Frisco, Texas, the Bison make it back to back to back to back to back FCS national championships. An unbelievable and unprecedented 5 natties in a row for North Dakota State.
Growing up in the state of North Dakota hockey is the number 1 thing, most popular thing that people can account for. This title stretch has definitely put the Bison up there, maybe even over UND hockey a little bit.
And all of a sudden, North Dakota State is going 11-1 through the transition. And then boom, in 2011, this team that no one really expected to contend for a national title continues to get better and better along the way. And then I think everybody saw, wow, a lot of these guys are going to be back. And the level of athlete and the coaching staff that continued to evolve, and the fan base that continued to evolve, and all of a sudden this monster turned into a machine and just kept rolling and rolling and rolling.
Nobody in the history of college football has ever won 5 straight championships. And that is, while they're not competing at the highest level of their particular sport, it's an impossible thing to wrap your head around.
And we get, 5-10 years from this moment and look back on their success as a football program, and it's going to be like, wow, they won 5 in a row.
I mean, you get to the point where fans are buying tickets to Frisco the year ahead in advance, to make sure they get their seat.
I hope people have enjoyed every second of it because it is just a special, special thing in North Dakota and FCS football and even across our region and across the country.
Number 1 is still to come, and we're right back with the top moment of 2016 and the top 10 plays of the year. Crazy catches on the field, mesmerizing moves on the ice. Which play will come out on top?
The 2016 top moments and top plays on Midco Sports Network are presented by Easy Spotter Attachments.
Welcome back. Before we get to the number 1 moment, let's recap moments 10 through 2. We had shiny new places to play in Fargo, Brookings, and Vermilion. Matt Farniak, big man making big news with his commitment to the University of Nebraska. A win streak for the ages in girls basketball continues at Fargo Shanley. South Dakota State snaps a long skid against North Dakota State as the Jacks reclaim the Dakota Marker Trophy. The SDSU women's basketball team comes within 1 point of the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. Carson Wentz goes from Bismarck to the Bison to starting quarterback in the NFL. The University of South Dakota women make the most of their invitation by winning the WNIT. The Augustana Vikings earn the crown as Division II national champs. And North Dakota State does it again after they already did it again and again. The Bison win a 5th straight FCS national championship. And that brings us to number 1, our top moment of 2016. April 9th in Tampa, Florida. University of North Dakota men's hockey. Drake Kajula scores twice. UND beats Quinnipiac 5-1, and the Fighting Hawks win the national championship. It's the 8th title in school history and the first since 2000.
Oh, it's something very special and near to our heart as far as what we want to try to accomplish at the beginning of the year, and it's finally sinking in now how special it is.
It has happened again for the first time in 16 years. Stick a Grand Forks in them. North Dakota, champions of the college hockey world.
I don't think there were many fans out there that were expecting this team to contend for a national championship.
Nothing against the other national championships that were won by North Dakota State or Augustana, but this is the highest level of college hockey in the country.
It was such an incredible thing to see the outpouring of support for this team just around the country, and to be a part of this community in Grand Forks and see how much people just really love this team, love this program.
Fan base that had been clamoring for one and had been so close to one on so many different occasions in the 16 seasons that preceded this national title run.
People forget there were a lot of question marks about this team coming into the season. Bradbury taking over as a first-year head coach, Cam Johnson taking over in net for Zane McIntyre that had won the Mike Richter Award a season ago. People weren't sure how this season was going to turn out, and to erase all those years of hardship and close calls, it was an incredible way to cap off an unbelievable season.
We started with hundreds of great plays from 2016. We cut them down to 25 and let everybody here at the network vote for their top 10. And here we go. Number 10. We had a handful of one-handed grabs this year, and this was one of the best, and the first of 2 by a man named Luke in North Dakota. Luke Cambites at Bismarck St. Mary's High School, single-handedly hauling that in for a touchdown. At number 9, South Dakota State football. Playoff game at North Dakota State. The Jacks put their twist on a familiar fake-out. The old hidden Mengarelli. Solid line alignment, running back laying in the weeds, and Brady Mengarelli takes it in for a tricky 6. At number 8, UND football. Final game of the regular season. North Dakota's come back from 21 points down to tie Northern Arizona. Less than 3 minutes to play. Deion Harris with the pick 6. UND wins 38-31 to finish the regular season 8-0 and capture their first Big Sky championship. Number 7, Sioux Falls, Washington football. Jaden Johansson puts it up. Logan Utek brings it down. and it looks even better the second time around. In a season in which the solo snag became almost common, that one's still pretty spectacular. Number 6, UND men's hockey, November 11th. Spin it and snipe it, rotate and rifle it in. All right, I'll shut up and just watch. North Dakota sophomore Shane Gersich with the gorgeous goal against Denver. Number 5, Madison High School in South Dakota. The Bulldogs with the definition of a back shoulder pass. Jackson Yankee goes up over the top of a Sioux Falls Christian defender to snag it off the shoulder pads for a touchdown. At number 4, Bismarck Century High School football, 3A state championship game. Here is the other Luke. Luke Little with a filthy 5-finger snag. Great throw by Jacob Olson. Incredible catch by Luke Little as Century wins its second straight state title. Number 3 is the He Miller Heave. University of South Dakota women's basketball, WNIT semis against Oregon. He Miller just trying to beat the shot clock and throws it in for 3. The Coyotes could not miss. They beat Oregon by 34, and He Miller with a most memorable moment. Number 2, you cannot stop the onslaught of Drake Caggiula. This is how you make 11,000 fans in the stands lose their minds. Short-handed against Alabama Huntsville. No chance for the defender, no chance for the goalie. This play that happened in January, so we could include it in the countdown. And that would be number 1 if it were not for this. The single-handed snare that started a season full of them. Second game of the season for South Dakota State. Dallas Goddard up over a Drake defender for what will become a legendary touchdown catch at South Dakota State. And that is our top play of 2016. Well, it has been our pleasure at Midco Sports Network to cover it all in 2016. Thanks to every player and coach and manager and administrator and assistant who helped us along the way. Here's to more moments in 2017.